Agricultural leaders had more than bacon and eggs to digest when they attended a KPMG breakfast last week.
We need to be loud and we need to be proud.
The KPMG Agribusiness Agenda 2017 was launched at the breakfast as part of Fieldays in Mystery Creek, the largest agricultural expo in the Southern Hemisphere. The Agribusiness Agenda has articulated a vision for the New Zealand agri-food sector. With less than 100 days until the election, what do some of our political leaders think?
Yeah, so we feed about 40 million people currently, and the challenge for us is, are we able to feed the wealthiest 40 million people? What we have to do is be very mindful of any decisions that are made by a government or by a regional council or by individual farmers or companies or industries, have the consumer at front of mind. And we think that we have got the best policies for the primary sector. I'm delighted in this year's budget because that's $170 million invested into the primary sector, which is an all-time high.
We have to produce goods that are of the highest standard in terms of food safety and quality. We can then sell them to people who can afford to pay a premium and then transfer that money back to farmers and give them a reasonable profit. But we must have some consideration for New Zealanders to buy healthy food at an affordable price. I think the issue is who takes leadership and how fast we get there, and I think the national government has been pretty hopeless at showing leadership in these areas, throwing a whole lot of money around, but it's been, in my view, misdirected and poorly spent. We need clear leadership and we need some collaboration among all the parties and an agreed vision to know where we go as a nation of food producers, and that we all buy into that vision.
This bureaucratic overlay out of Wellington that tells people what's a good idea in business and what's not a bad idea, when most of them couldn't run a university tuck shop. Whether you're going to feed base 35 million or 40 million or feed the best in the market will have a big difference, will make an enormous difference to what we actually glean from that market. I can remember when they were guaranteeing that milk would always be the cheapest commodity on the market. When that government got in, they doubled it. In short, for far too many of them, it's a lot of trick but no treat, so to speak.
It's just mathematics, right? If you look at the amount of land we've got, I have heard some farmers say it's our responsibility to feed the world. We actually can't, right? We've got about enough land to feed about 40 to 45 million people. I believe that our responsibility is to make sure that we are earning as much as we can for New Zealanders from our land. But I certainly think that, going after the top end of the market means that actually the whole country gets wealthier, and that means that we can afford more, whether it's food or other things. For the most part, we all want the same things at the end of the day, and we're really just arguing about how fast do we get there, what speed, what's the priority, and so on. I think that the current government, does require some challenging, particularly in relation to things like water or climate change or inequality, and those are things that we'll be challenging them on.
As the sun goes down on Fieldays in Mystery Creek, there is much to contemplate about agriculture in New Zealand. Ko la ritola, taku ingoa.